Welcome to People in the Boxes.
All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Thursday night People in the Boxes episode 103. It is July 18th, 2024, guys. 8 o'clock Central Time every Thursday night. We do People in the Boxes. Tonight, we're going to do our monthly current events episode. But typically, the show is, for the most part, all about trying to get people together to explore and to share their perspectives on common topics, right? So today, it's a little bit of a different episode. We're trying to do this more often. I like doing the current events. But like I always try to preface it with the real purpose of this show, and that's to get people together and to be able to have conversations with one another, knowing that you're not going to agree on everything. No two people are the same, and I believe that almost every single person is going to find something to disagree with anyone else. And so that's the show. The whole exercise is how much can you take, And so tonight might get a little bit crazy. I mean, we are not going to try to dwell on any certain thing. So we're going to try to hopefully find out all kinds of the interesting things that's going to happen or it's going on around right now. But we do have Kim with us. We're hoping to get some more folks with us. If you guys are out there, you want to come up on screen, let me know. I'm going to put pin the link in my page. But we got Kim. What's up, Kim?
Just school started back this week, not with the students, but teachers. And I've had, oh my God, we have had trainings. We had all-day trainings Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and my tailbone feels like it's in the back of my neck from sitting for hours and hours on end.
So you've been doing all the training, but school isn't started for the kids, right?
Yeah, no, the teachers always come back early because we have professional development. You have to set up your classroom. There's just a myriad of things that that happen before the kids come back. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, wait, I thought the kids were like take a little bit longer,
Yeah, they'll be back. We came back this Monday. The kids will be back this coming Monday. So. And my room is not set up yet, and I have no lessons, and I got a new curriculum to teach this year, and it's like...
Throwing for a loop, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot. It'll be all right. I'm lucky because I'm a special ed teacher, so I have a lot more control over my time and my curriculum. It's different for me. But our district got the shit suit out of them because one of the teachers some teacher in our district wasn't delivering services to a student. So, you probably, how old is your son? He's school age, right?
He's 9. He's
in school, so he has an IEP.
Yes.
And an IEP is essentially a contract for educating a student that has disabilities, has learning disabilities or whatever. And so you have service time as a teacher, whoever is involved in educating your child, be it a special education teacher, a speech language pathologist, school psychologist, occupational therapist, whatever. We all are accountable for service time. So each one of my students that I teach gets 240, I think it's 240 minutes a week of service time from me. And,
What's up, Ted?
And you have to document all of that. Like you have to document that you're accountable for a kid's goals, all kinds of stuff. And so anyway, apparently a teacher in our school district was not delivering services appropriately in some fashion, and there was no documentation for it. So our district has what they call a corrective a correction plan or something like that.
Hmm.
And so 2 days of training were related to all of that. So we're going to this really complex system of documenting, and oh God, it's hard. It's very time consuming. So
Alan says, I started the day off with a homeless veteran passed out in front of the hardware store this morning. Why do we have homeless veterans? Look, I'll play middle of the road here. The homeless, not every, actually a good percentage of the people that are homeless are there by choice. Whether you're a veteran or not, like a lot of times the homeless are there by choice, sometimes not. So it is what it is, but you never know. That my point is, you never know. That gentleman could just be like one of the people that's like, I don't want to live by the rules of the society, and they're gonna do this, do whatever, and it happens. I'm not saying it's not. It could be a case where they fell out, but I did want to hit the 7:10. I missed it. We're 5 minutes late, but anyway, cheers, you guys. I want to try to do that a little more often. But cheers, everybody. 7:10 the Mountain Time.
7:10 Mountain Time. That would be my time.
Come on up, Ted, if you want. Anybody that wants to come up, we're going to look into some current news. Not necessarily news, but like cannabis news and maybe a little bit of news. We may end up talking about the big news at some point. But again, I always preface this with, if you plan to come in here with, quote, facts, I don't care if I agree with them or not, please give me an idea where you found them from, or pull them up. Tell us a website. We can pull it up. If we really want to get into the nitty gritty, let's be specific about it. Otherwise, use words like I think, or I'm pretty sure. This is where I heard it from, but I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure this is what's going on, but I don't remember where I heard it from. Give me something. You got to give me some kind of background. You can't just say, well, I know this. This is known to me. Alan, you can foster veterans. Okay. I'm just reading this from Amy here. I just saw a small story on CBS. Interesting.
That's cool.
That is interesting. I mean, some vets, their situation with vets are a little bit different than the typical homeless person. Sometimes it has to do with when you come home, your family there's no family there for you to support you. I mean, my family didn't really, like, they were there, but not really like family doesn't necessarily know how to support a vet. Like, they don't know that they need to or anything either a lot of times. What's up, Cindy, over there on the Rumble? Appreciate you guys got 7. We had 10 people on the Rumble. Rumble is, I don't know. Rumble's one of them things. I feel like they've de-boosted me over time. I looked at my timeline today. I was like, I was getting a lot more views for months, and then just suddenly cuts down as I've been growing my numbers. So there's a lot of things that just seem fishy. I try to keep an open mind,
I think, as a veteran myself, a lot of people that go into the military, especially enlisted, we go in very young, 17, 18, 19 years old, typically. And, you leave home, you leave your parents home. A lot of kids leave their parents home and they join the military. And the military is like, it becomes your family. But you have stronger bonds in a lot of ways to your military family than you do your own blood family, because you're associated with literally a death machine. You know what I mean?
Well, but the reason is more because of what you've gone through with those people.
Exactly.
That camaraderie that you build, that teamwork.
Exactly. And you're socialized when you go through basic training to the buddy system, leave no man behind, all of that mentality. And the military takes care of you. Like, I lived in
Spammer on Rumble. Sorry, go ahead. Spam. You're a piece of spam. Go ahead, Kim.
With the ooey gooey on it. But you live in the dorms. We had dorms. Army has barracks, whatever you want to call them. They furnish you a place to live, rent free. They provide you food. until you move out of the barracks. So like if you get married or whatever, then but they still give you money to live on and whatnot. So you're cared for, and then you leave that system and you come back into civilian life, and it's such a difference. It's like you didn't, as a young person, you didn't have the rubber meets the road where you have to get out there and hustle to take care of yourself.
The struggle to make to grow, right? We all need struggle. It's like plants, to give it a plant reference. I totally agree, but I also think that you're given in the early days, the basic training, you're given a secret code language to talk to each other with. You have all these secret. You're given all these secret, like, sort of club words, like, oh, well, I was in Bravo Company. Oh yeah. Well, I was a Bobcat 2-2. I was a dodo bird. Whatever. Like, everybody's got their mascots. Like, you're on like it's a whole sort of team sort of vibe, and yeah, they get you with that for sure. But I don't know that that's really like their fault. It's just part of having.
It's part of the society that you become part of, and it's like, I don't know, it's really hard, and then you leave all that behind and you have to readjust. And I had a really hard time finding a job when I got out. I had all this experience, but nobody wanted to hire me as a veteran, and there's like, I don't know why that is. I suspect there's certain things. And even when I did, like,
veteran status, or could be something else, like your.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you sure it was because you were a veteran? Because I seem to have like plenty of like, the people. I actually felt the opposite. It felt weird to me how nice everybody was being to veterans there at my time anyway.
Because at your time.
Yeah,
I'm older than you, and I was in
golf. Okay.
Yeah, so it was a little different.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Things have changed a lot in the last 20 years.
Yes, they have. That's an understatement.
So, people are a lot more supportive of our veterans. I think people really learned the lesson of how veterans from Vietnam, the Vietnam era veterans, were treated. And I went in, like, when did Vietnam end? It was.
No idea. I always get Vietnam and the Korean War mixed up as far as like which one was first.
It was in the 70s. So I joined the military about 10-ish years after the Vietnam War. So, you still have people, I don't know, people weren't as nice to veterans at the time that I got out. They weren't ugly to me like they were Vietnam era veterans, but it was just a different thing. And so I had a hard time getting a job. It was like, I don't know. I felt like my military experience didn't count for anything, or that there was some kind of a stigma attached to that. But above and beyond that, I really, really struggled, fitting back into society, because, in the military, it's such a structured life, and people behaved themselves. And if you got out of line, you were disciplined for it, and you were typically disciplined pretty harshly. And then you come back into civilian life and you have all these people that just are wild and crazy, and they don't act like military people. And it's just, I have a hard time. I was a manager at Target at one point, and I had a hard time with some of the kids that were just fucking disrespectful and lazy, and you can't do anything. It's like you don't have any.
Well, I actually disagree. The difference in the military is that you're stuck. You can't just say I quit. In a Target, you can say, well, I'll see you later. You can't. That was one thing in the military, is you're kind of trapped if you're around people that don't like you. If you're in a unit with some people that, like, you ever heard of, I don't know if the females would do that, but like the old blanket party, like if you had got caught with some group of friends that did not like you in the basic training, like they'd find a way to come and visit you at nighttime with a pillow full of oranges or soap or something.
Yeah, and beat the shit out of you with it. Yeah, I heard about those. As far as I know, the girls never did that. Not when I was, not that I ever saw. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I just never witnessed it, but I've heard of blanket parties. So
Blanket parties. We had, well, anyway, let's get back to it. Well, I mean, does anybody know a veteran today that's having any trouble? Like we have a lot of today. We have a lot of services that veterans just don't like. I don't know how to access half of them. It's really like, yeah, I get disability, which has been a godsend, but also there's plenty of other, like, all these different private groups that do different things. So it's hard. It's really hard to find them. I am part of something called the Farmer Veteran Coalition, which is kind of cool, but I don't really get much benefit from it. I do know someone who's won a grant twice from them. And I'm like,
that's
man,
cool.
how do I do that? Shouts out to Stuart Microgreens. So let's, as far as like, I'm gonna look up. I have a few websites pulled up, and we're gonna get into it. But I'd like to talk like current events directly from us, you know. And so Kim, you know, you've got a lot. You've broke ground. You've got a foundation going on in the house, so like we can get into that. We had some really bad storms. Some people might still have some storms going on. I had
Yeah.
friends that took several days to get their power back. You know, Joe Kelly, what's up, man? And like, so there's some real life current events that have been happening to us. We went to that event over the weekend, first time camping for me all year and probably for many years. And I took my puppy with me, and that's been a current event for me, guys. If you've been watching my story, I've been kind of trying to keep people updated on Miss Mia. Hey, we got Sir Steve-O in the house. Steve-O and anyone else out there, guys, we got the link pinned. If you don't see it, I'll paste it again. But come on up and share with us. You don't have to stay very long. You can even be audio only. This show is not the Kim and Waylon show, although her and I could talk all day. We want to hear perspectives from people. Hear what's going on in your life, in your city, in your area. We may get into the actual big hard news headlines, right? But like there was actually some good marijuana headlines. I saw this story here. It says, bipartisan lawmakers seek to remove marijuana rescheduling ban from key spending bill.
Yeah, I posted that.
Okay.
I shared that in GoFam and my group.
We can read and check that out a little bit.
I've been trying to post that because that kind of stuff, because right now there's a lot of conservatives that are very much against. I'm a conservative, and my family are like ultra conservative. They're Texans, like they're right there in the middle of all of that ultra conservative Bible Belt stuff.
Like so that beer, conservative ultra right beer or whatever. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they're whiskey drinkers, man, bourbon. But so I hear about what they think about cannabis, and I'm telling you, most conservatives, especially like old school conservatives and these Bible Belt conservatives, are not down for cannabis. They don't like it. They consider it the devil's lettuce. And I don't know what it's going to take to change it. I don't know if it ever will change, but
it changed a lot already. I think there's just some holdouts. It's going to change through aging out. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it will change with aging out. I agree with that, but it's going to be a minute before that happens. But I've noticed that since the whole rescheduling thing happened, that there's been that the conservatives in our Congress, at least, are not happy about that rescheduling, and now there's been a lot of efforts on their part to they're
take it back,
a whole bunch of stuff with the farm bill, and it may come to the point where they take out where we're not allowed to sell cannabis seeds anymore. So I don't know.
I could see them making things difficult, and you never know what's going to happen in the future. But I will say this: most things, almost all politics, is downstream from culture, right? I know it's a famous saying. Breitbart said it, but that's not the that's not the what am I saying here? That's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that if you have enough people that think it's socially acceptable, then the law doesn't really matter. So look at things like simple things. Look at jaywalking. Right, you can still get ticketed for jaywalking in certain places in busy cities. You definitely can, but for the most part, it is socially acceptable to just walk across the street, and in most streets, most
I
neighborhoods.
don't think that it's socially acceptable. I think that society has gotten so large and complicated that it's almost seen as petty to go after people for jaywalking when you've got other
That's a
more
socially
serious
thing. That's still the same thing. Okay, it's a different spin, but I think it's still, two sides of the same coin. Like
yeah.
people make
It's
it.
on the books, but it's not necessarily enforced. But that doesn't mean that if you don't, like, if you jaywalk and you cause an accident and there's laws against jaywalking, you could maybe be held accountable in a court of law because you were breaking the law and caused somebody to get hurt or die or something like that.
Are made to be broken. Yeah. Okay. So that maybe I was trying to make too simple of a law or an example. There are things that I'm trying to think of another good example now. I'm missing it. Like, not safety things are probably not the good example. Was there ever a law about? Well, never mind. I guess I don't have a good one. I was thinking marriage is it's much more socially acceptable to have like large age gaps and things like that, but that's not a law thing.
That's more of a that's more of a custom or something like that.
Yeah, well, either way though, more than I think 60% of the people, at least 60% of the country is I forget what the term was, like either using it or okay with it, or at least not opposed to it or whatever. So like when you have more than half the country be okay with something, like I don't know, I feel like there's
but when you break that down, like there's people that vary with that though, because there's some people that are okay with it for medicinal purposes, but they're not okay with it for recreational purposes. And because they still have that whole stigma tag, they don't want to be around a bunch of potheads or
I hear that.
Whatever it is, whatever terminology you want to attach to it. Because I hear this. I'm telling you, I hear this shit all the time from people, people I'm around. So, if you were to poll people, yes, maybe collectively there's 60% of people that are okay with stuff, but when you break it down into subcategories, it's different.
I see your point. Yeah. So, but here's my whole problem is like our alternative. God, I can't speak tonight. Let me get a drink of water here. I got some water. Our alternative to the push for cannabis is to just be okay with what the pharmaceutical industry's been doing to us, that's been coming out, right? And so I feel like they've got to, they being anyone who's staunchly against cannabis, has to at least admit that the war on the war on drugs, but then there was there was another one we called it the epidemic, the pharmaceutical epidemic, or what was it, the narcotic epidemic? What do we call it? Just recently, we were calling it something, but it had to do a lot with like overprescription from doctors and people, going to multiple doctors for the same thing, all sorts of different things. But I'm just saying there has to be at least a compromise from that end of things to say, well, our medicine, situation, the way we are doing it now is just it's not doable for that long, or it can't hold up like that. I just like this title here. It says senators will vote on Doobie Act to prevent agencies from using past marijuana use to deny employment. I like that. I mean, although, well, it says agencies, so that's different than like small businesses or business companies. I feel like companies literally should be able to discriminate, because if, say, a company, like there's, whatever, I don't want to say any name. I was going to come up with a name, somebody's something shop, and then you find out that they do not hire you when you go and sit down and do the hiring process fully legally. They say, we do not hire women, or we do not hire insert minority group, and say if that was legal, I would want them to allow it, because people wouldn't go there. People that unless, like, what if you work at a place like that, you might as well call yourself a racist or a bigot or whatever if you go ahead and work at a place that's openly. And so they hide it, right? And because it's illegal. But I feel like they should let it be legal, because then it would be visible,
Right.
Oh, the company that only hires whatever, insert this person. Like, that's just like something that I want to see out in the open. That's why I like freedom of speech. Like, freedom of speech is speech that you don't like, guys. Speech that you do not like. Hate speech is also speech that you do not like. That's why I feel like hate speech should not be something that's like outlawed,
I agree with that. I agree with people being able to with that, because I'd rather know what I'm dealing with, and I think that a lot of people are like that. The only thing that I am against is people that incite violence. I'm not down with that.
Right, and that is illegal. That is illegal. But
Yeah.
it is funny though, the famous you can't shout fire in a movie theater, but wait, you can shout fire in a movie theater if there's a fire.
Right. Yeah.
And apparently you can pull the fire alarm in Congress and still get away with it. But hey, let's not go there. Or was it the Senate? I'm not sure which one. Yeah, but Timothy, I'm pretty sure it was just fear bait for everybody. Honestly, I really do believe like no one like, it just came up out of nowhere suddenly for some kind of, just to like suddenly make everyone like scared. It's ridiculous. Project 2025 is just a gobbledygook, in my opinion.
I don't even pay any attention to that. I started looking at it because I saw something and I was like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, it's like he wants to kill everyone. Like, we're all going to this, like, we're all going to get shot into the sun. We're going to turn the planet inside out, and then we're going to start mating with bats in caves. I don't know. I'm just like, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook. Like, anyone can make that, and I've heard the story. I've heard the people say that they were part of it or whatever. Like, I don't know who those people are.
Well, it's just like the Black Lives Matter thing. I'm very strong supporter of civil rights. So
that's it. Sorry, go ahead.
Initially, when I heard Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I was down for it. And then, I don't remember what happened, but I happened to be looking at the platform. I hadn't looked at their platform. And when I started reading the platform and some of the details on it, I was like, oh, I can't support that. There's certain things that are in their platform that are just not consistent with my beliefs and values. Not that I don't support Black people, not that I don't support a lot of what Black Lives Matter is about, but there's certain components of it that's like,
Yeah, I'm not into anything anti-family. Like, I think we need to get back to family. That's one of the big reasons I'm online. Like, maybe, you know what? Maybe I can't get back to some of my family. Maybe I'm not the best like role model for it, but that doesn't mean I can't be a proponent for things that I think we should be worried more about, like being self-sustainable. Like, on Monday, the storms made the power go out at my house. I'll just put this story away for now. I guess we'll read some stories in a minute. But the power went out of my house and Steve-O's, I think, at least
You guys
twice
had some ugly storms.
during the show. Like right as the show started, boom, everything was shut off.
Yeah, I had that happen.
Yeah. And so my point is, when I got back, I just wanted to, I did a soft reopen, and I was like, look, do you guys understand now why I'm even out here doing this? This isn't like, yes, I get sucked into some of the metrics and some of the popularity contest of it within like kind of networking and meeting all these people and talking to musicians and glass blowers and all this, and it's fun. That's all fun, but the whole reason I'm doing this is because I think we all should be a little more self-sufficient, a little bit more self-sustainable, and that makes the news, that makes some of this stuff a lot less impacting on your lives. And I know, Elisa May, you said, if you're sitting at home on government check, you're not self-sustainable. That is not my point for this whole thing. That's a good learning, a good point by you, because I think everybody can be just a little more self-sustainable. It doesn't mean I can jump straight to having an actual homestead and all this stuff. Eventually, who knows, maybe. But that doesn't mean you can't do just a little more to give to that's under your own control, like whatever that is. It might be just repurposing things, But that was the thing I thought of recently. I was like, well, you want people to think about those natural, like the storm, or like even the things going on in politics. You want to not have to worry about those things so much, because you may have a skill or a knowledge about how to survive on whatever you're growing, or whatever you're hunting, or maybe you're skilled artist or whatever it is. Like, you have something that you can lean on. That's the kind of whole. That's where I'm going with it. But anyway, let's go back. Let's check some of this out at least before we shut it off. These are really recent stories.
Yeah.
Delaware governor signs marijuana bill, including one to let medical dispensaries begin recreational sales. So that's in Delaware. Let's see, you've got some more here. 8 hours ago, 3 out of 4 patients say medical marijuana reduces their use of opioids and painkillers. Ohio study. So that's interesting, because Kelsey, she says smoking weed helped her get off of opioids, and opioids is the word I was trying to think of, the opioid epidemic. Come on, guys. Anybody want to come on up and share with us your what's going on current event wise for you? Let's hear it. Well, just it's got to my first tomato. Okay, creative. So I'm feeling a little sustained. See, that's what I mean. Like, you feel a little bit, even if it's just a piece,
I just don't, I'm sort of a libertarian. I hesitate to say fully that I'm a libertarian. But, I'm really like the self-sustainability of, that libertarians, that's part of being a libertarian. And I think it's important. I think it's important to be able to take care of yourself, because you just never know. Like, I don't know. I'm a survivor at the base of everything. I'm a survivor. And so, I don't know. I just don't like an over-reliance on technology. I like technology, but I don't like to over-rely on it, because what happens if you don't have it?
Well, exactly. And Lisa May is trying to allude to that same thing here. And this is exactly why I'm trying to learn how to grow my own food. She says, what if they cut off that check? Well, that's exactly why I'm not. So the check to me is already being cut off, because our value, our dollar is being devalued, guys. So my entire reason for not going to I can work at a job while getting disability, because I'm a veteran. It's a different thing with veterans. It would be great double dipping, working that 9 to 5, not worrying about work like all the time like I am now, like trying to create things and do all this stuff. And maybe I'm not working as physically hard as I would at a job. But my point is, the thing that I'm looking at is the value of our dollar going down. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use this time that I have, whatever it is, I'm on a clock here, to learn a skill, to learn something, to learn anything towards more self-sustainable, living. Doesn't mean you don't have to be all the way there. You can't, like, you got to start somewhere. Like I can't just start from the end, right? Sandy, what's up? We all sat at home and didn't have to work. We'd have plenty of time to grow stuff, do crafts and whatever. Must be nice. Oh, you poor. Okay, well, I know, Lisa, you're still mad at me, and you like to come in here. But listen, the link's right down there. You can come up and tell me that I don't do anything, and I probably don't. I just sit around at home and stuff. Yeah, it is nice, I guess, doing nothing all day.
I'm curious to know, the whole Project 2025. Trump said that he doesn't support that, but I'm just wondering if that's
a made up thing.
If that's just him saying that because
everybody, like, it came out of nowhere, and the only people that are worried about it, or even know about it, are his enemies, or people that really, really hate him, or people that have TDS. No one supporting him was like, "Oh yeah, I got it, man. We're gonna be good on that project." No one even saw it or heard from it. It all came out of nowhere from the opponents. Like, a bunch of people suddenly, like, there's some website showing it and stuff. It's like, yeah, he lies. Every word is a lie. Yes, that's. Can we get past Trump though and say, even if he didn't exist, there's an entire issue with entrenched bureaucracy of people who have been there for many, 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 many more years than him that are definitely a bigger problem inside of our government. Like, can we agree on that, or is it just, are we going to be, like, really hyper focused on this one guy? Right, Timothy. Like, this is an assumption. That is an assumption, right? Eat your vegetables, Sandy. You're right. What's up, Gerald? What's up, brother?
I got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I saw some of it. It's like he wants to kill all people on Earth for Project 2025. It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, or whatever. Like, come on, man. Come on. I can say my Project 2025, like, just naming something the same thing and then putting it out does not mean that it's the same thing. Like, there's probably multiple Project 2025s if you look through businesses and other people. I'm just saying, like, just having that on the title is a pretty simple title. Like, if it said, like, it's not going to obviously say, Trump's evil plan, like, on the top, like, come on. Like, anyway, I would just say that that's not what he's been saying at his rallies, and that's probably what he'd be running on. He already got in trouble last time for not doing some of the stuff he said all the time in his rallies. So why would that be any different this time?
Here's what scares me about that Project 2025 and it being affiliated with the Republican or Conservative Party with regards to Trump. So Trump says he's not a racist, but part of his base are Ku Klux Klan people, are very racist people.
Those are Democrats.
Huh?
The Ku Klux Klan was always the Democrat Party.
Yeah, that party has flip-flopped all over the place. So
it's been debunked. That's the Great Reset or whatever.
It's like it's flip-flopped. It's changed over time. So the Democratic Party back then was different than it is now. But
like both sides, everything's been different. Different people. They're all the old people are dead, right?
Well, but all the conservatives that were in the Democratic Party, like, left, or I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff.
Everybody flip-flopped. Yeah, no, I've heard that story. I've heard that theory, and I don't agree. I don't believe it. It's not proven either, though. There's a lot of holes in it.
Well, it's not a story. It's, you had these Southern Democrats that
You
stayed
can't
in the
name
party.
one person that flipped over. Like that's the issue with that story. If you look it
Well,
up,
yeah,
like there's
because
not.
all this stuff happened circa around the Civil War. It's not like
There's records. But look at this though. Let me check. Let's go back to marijuana because it's interesting. It talks about trying to help people not get ripped off. It says Measurement Standards Groups approves new federal marijuana guideline on moisture loss to make sure consumers aren't ripped off. So I am not sure what that means. Members of the National Conference of Weights and Measurements or Measures, Weights and Measures, the NCMM, interesting, voted on Wednesday to approve a proposal governing allowable moisture loss in cannabis products, a change that is aimed largely at ensuring patients and consumers aren't sold products that weigh less than advertised. Cool, because I'm always feeling like, I should weigh this, but I think I'm going to be disappointed if I buy something at the dispensary,
well, it's kind of along the lines of meat. There are things that they do to meat, like add water, they add something to it
Damn
to,
chance.
I don't know. But so I can see where they would, where they would want to regulate moisture in cannabis. Because that's essentially what you're doing is regulating.
I don't know what this means, Timothy, but the Bad Faith documentary. Oh, it's the name of a documentary. Yeah. Chance, that is crazy, bro. I don't know if you should be going around saying that, my guy. That's messed up. Well, I get it, Elisa May. I didn't always have this assistance. I lost plenty to get it, and I took the chance when I had it because I see things on a little bit longer scale. I'm trying it. I see a clock counting down, and yes, I'm one of these ADHD type people that it is hard for me to concentrate. But by doing what I'm doing, I'm actually accomplishing my goal, which isn't necessarily to be the best grower ever and to know all the growing, but to promote other growers and to get people to think a little bit about things. Tonight's show obviously is not growing, but most of my shows are about sustainability and not just growing food or getting money or whatever, but being able to have these conversations like that is just like we can't just all be mad at each other all the time and then also just have money. Like that's like those two things, it doesn't make things better. We got to be able to talk to each other, right? So tonight's show is about sustainability in a different type of a way. If we could get more people up here to talk, because like we typically we could try to get 8, 9, 10 people on the screen to give us their opinions, or also like real life lived experience, which gives us more perspective, right? That's sustainability to me. It's not just me being able to pay for all my bills. That's one thing. That's one angle of it, right? Let's see. The newly approved policy, which will be added to the federal handbook and provide national guidance to both hemp and marijuana markets, despite marijuana remaining illegal at the federal level, says the product can lose up to 3% of their weight as a result of moisture loss. It's a recognition that some plant material may dry out during shipping or storage, but that purchasers still deserve their full purchase. Okay. In the retail cannabis trade, insufficient attention to guidance is given to moisture migration in or out of cannabis packaging. The item in or out even. Okay, so I thought immediately that they just like would throw a little extra water into the package. The item on the NCMM agenda says, and As a result, the contents of some cannabis flower packaging have been found to be underweight, resulting in the patient consumer paying for weight they are not actually receiving. In Oregon, for example, underweight complaints are the #1 customer complaint, according to the agenda's original justification for the proposal. Okay.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that complain at like dispos and stuff that, the weed is old. It's old and it's dried out because so one of the things that I heard, and I don't know how true this is, I'm just going by a lot of the scuttlebutt that I hear from people that are in the dispo industry. And that is that the market is so flooded with stuff that they can't sell. And so like you have like warehouses full of stuff, and the longer you keep it, the more dried out it's going to be and whatnot. So
well, I would say they'd have to do well. That's the problem with how legal it is, because one way around it, or not around it necessarily, but one thing to do with it is like food companies would do, and you have the scraps, you give the lower price, or you like if they're allowed to, or unless it's moldy, like Creative said.
yeah,
But like if it's just lower grade or dried out, you should still be able to like give it to the homeless, or give it to, because they're smoking crack. Like give them weed, maybe it'll help them out. But like like if there was more openness for that, I think that would make more sense, because instead they're finding ways to shove it into what they're calling good product, mixing it in, mixing the dried stuff in with newer stuff or whatever it is. And just they're not, I'm not saying every grower, not every operation, but you're going to be incentivized for that. I've said this for a long time. People work off of incentive. Yes, I believe in good and evil, but I also believe that incentive will make people look good or bad. Like if you're incentivized to eat and you got no money, like you're probably going to do something bad to get it, right? But that's not good. That's not evil, right? But what I mean is, like, people will do things that they're incentivized to do sometimes just because it's better for them than anything else, And if a business has like what is it? Byproducts. That's what I was trying to think of. If a business has byproducts, then they're going to try to find a way to use them. Now, some of these businesses out there will fucking shove that right into our food, which is getting really annoying. Finding out, or fake food. There's some story. We need to look into that too tonight. I think there's a story about honey being mostly corn syrup now on the shelves. If you don't know a beekeeper, shouts out to Riverview Road Apiary, sponsor game night. They're a local apiary. If you don't know a beekeeper, you should find one, because we're being fed corn syrup. Okay, I don't know if I need to read the rest of this story, but it is interesting though. I mean, we all get it. Moisture. We don't want it to be a reason that we're getting less product, right? We don't want to hang out on that for too long. Let me just go ahead and do this. Let me share the whole screen in. Anyway, my litmus test on certain things is like, if you can, especially when it's this side versus that side, no matter what it's, sports or whatever, if you cannot criticize your own side and say what you can improve on, or what you can, whatever, to me that tells me that you're gone, like you're lost, right? Like if there's no way, if you cannot say something, but then another thing, and this is, I responded on your post that one day. Another thing I like to look at is that, what's your answer? What's the positive end of this? Like, you can list to me all the doom and gloom problems happening, even from just Trump, or even from Biden, or even no matter who it is, what it is, you can list all these bad things. But my question is, like, okay, what is your opinion on what I should do about this? like what is it that you're saying, like and the political thing might be simpler, like you might just say, well, vote for your what your point is it vote for the other person or whatever, but that's not what you're saying though. You're saying all this sort of negative doom and gloom. I'm gonna say my thing is like, let me be behind you on the answer or your solution to whatever the problem is, right? I am all for going over problems of stuff. I'm all for pointing out of really like possibilities that this could turn bad or that could turn bad, but then like let me see what the end goal, what the next thing would be. I'll get back to the comments here in a second, guys. I'm going to share my whole screen, and but you get what I'm saying. Like I want solutions, not just problems. We don't all have solutions, but we can have.
For me, I think it's important to bring awareness to things. I think we need to talk about the crazy stuff because I don't necessarily have a solution. Like a lot of these problems are huge. They're huge. They're world-sized problems, and I don't have control over that. I only have control over what I have in front of me. You know what I mean?
That's the solution. There you go. So like
but does that mean that just because I don't have control over a bigger audience than myself that I should just sit back and not say anything?
Well, no, I think what you can say is your opinion on what you can do about it. Like your opinion on what you yourself is. You don't have to think about the grand scale, like what all humankind should do, but like what I'm going to do. Like here's what I'm going to do about this, guys. I'm going to go out and I'm going to vote about this and that, or I'm going to make this decision. You know what I'm saying? Like you can inspire people by telling them what you like. Me, that's why I'm not posting a lot of things about one way or the other, because I don't want to get into, well, first of all, like I can piss people off all day, but like that's not what I'm all about. I'm trying to bring things about by discussing all angles of it so that people maybe give a better picture for themselves. Like I want everyone else out there to like Timothy said, education and awareness is key. You're right. Awareness is hard though sometimes, because some of us only, like I said earlier, some of us have tunnel vision only on certain topics. Yeah. Very certain. And I'm sure, I guarantee you and I both have our tunnel vision topics where we are just focused on something and we can't see another angle. I don't like that about myself. When I see bias or something, I want to push back and I want to look at what the other side of that would be. And obviously I'm trying to be more diplomatic and stuff, because guys, I know this audience isn't used to it, but I get in these spaces over on X. Shouts out to X Spaces. There's like 10,000 people in there, and they're talking politics, like straight up, like 10 people up on the stage. It's all audio only, but they call it the stage, and they're not screaming at each other. They're like, oh, once in a while they do. But you know who Destiny is? Destiny's been on a few of them recently, and he is just the nastiest person. I'm sorry, but no matter what your information is that you're bringing me, if it's just doom and gloom and nasty, like cursing nasty, like this guy was just, I don't give a F. I'm glad this happened and that happened and everything else, like just being real, like straight up nasty. Like, yeah, that's clickbaity. People are going to like it's going to be like controversial, right? But it's not going to change minds. It's not going to, it's not going to be.
It just stirs people up and it pisses off. When you get ugly like that, it stirs people up and it's really counterproductive. It causes the crazies to come out. You know what I mean? It stirs people like that up that can't handle that kind of stuff. And it just, I don't know. It's not productive.
Well, it's like what Elisa May said here. I just see shit differently. Well, that's the issue, is like we have come to a point where, like just with Lisa May and I in the conversation, well, we're at this impasse, we call it, right, in conversation, where, well, you and I are not going to see the same way on something or whatever it is. And if we can still be like, okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow, like that's the point of life. Like every single you know what's funny too about this whole thing, in my opinion, um I think the human brain being two-sided, I think every person has a sort of range or a spectrum of how much they are on one side versus the other side. No matter, when I say side, it's like the one is more nurturing, one is more like dry. What's the term? Logic, more just sort of like straight logic, and we don't all line up perfectly on those angles, and like more and more emotional, I guess, and more logical as the two sides. And we everybody has like sort of varying degrees, every single person, right? If we didn't, we'd just be ants. We've talked about this recently, but it's just that I think if we had more like sections of our brain, like we got other parts of it, I guess, but for the most part, you have the two main sections of your brain. If it was like divided up more, I think we would have more, like even more differences. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that's just my theory on how humans work. Like, we are made to have free will. We're made to be different. Each one of us is so unique and different. But then we still kind of line up a little bit. We kind of almost like a part down the middle of your hair, you know. We all kind of still somewhat line up somewhere along a line, and that line changes. It kind of moves and it ebbs and flows. I think through time. You're a historian. I'm a historian. I love history. Like, it's something that swings as a pendulum, they call it. And we kind of go with this crazy cycle, and everything changes. So I try not to get caught up with the you know the specific deeds, or, well, I know actually people's actions are much more important, actually. But the
Yeah.
specific, like, of the time, like, I look at it with that macro lens, right? So, like, here's some stories on Farm Week now. I'm just kind of looking at some headlines. I saw the horses, though. It says new Duquoin, 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 Duquoin State Fair Manager. What state is that?
But it's a state fair, so that's either a county or a city, and that's it's French.
Duquoin.
So I don't know where it's at.
Fair. Interesting. We had some Clydesdales around here.
I love Clydesdales. They're beautiful. They're huge. I'd hate to be stepped on by one. It'd probably crush you.
Oh,
Have you ever been stepped on by a horse?
No, thanks.
I've been stepped on by a horse because I've owned horses. I've been around horses all my life, or not all my life, but a lot of my life. And it hurts to get stepped on by a horse, a big horse. Those horses are ginormous. Their feet are like huge.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting stepped on one of those. Sandy Ohm with the 50 stars. Thank you, Sandy. I really appreciate it. We are going to do another spin on the locals wheel, probably 2 more spins actually on the number wheel tonight. So make sure you guys.
I'm pointing at the thing, like trying to point it out to you. See down there where it says
hey, we got Lisa May in the house. Where it says what? Yeah, right here.
Right, we're right underneath it. If you look underneath it, the black letters.
Yeah.
See the D with the small U and the large Q, that's French. So
it says this
somewhere. It might be in. Do you have a county in Illinois that's named that?
Well, it's probably
out of Illinois.
No, it should be in Illinois. I'm going to look at it, but let me read this here. 2 Illinois counties accepting emergency forest restoration applications because of all the damage.
From the tornadoes?
I'm guessing so. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you guys have been hit with some nasty storms. I was a little worried about you. I don't know. Earlier this week, I saw Peoria about to get hit.
Yeah, and I think it went over to Bloomington, didn't it, Elisa?
Well, we had some trees down here, but that was about it.
I was in this weird like eye of the storm for a while. We had this like I was in the center of it, but then there was no rain or wind. It was just thunderstorming, and then it looked purple in the map. I was like, that should be hail, but it didn't hail.
The tornado sirens went off here.
See, that people were upset about that on Facebook. The sirens did not go off in my area, and I'm wondering about that. That's really weird. Did anyone else here? Did anyone else experience that? The siren, the emergency.
Did you get tornadoes there?
No, but the severe thunderstorms like that and the tornado warnings, like it should have been
the 80-mile-per-hour winds.
That too. That should have been enough to hit the big sirens they test every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month. So yeah, this must be in Illinois somewhere. Wait, state fair. This doesn't make sense. This does not make sense. I'm not seeing a state, and it says because our state fair is it's in Springfield, right, Elisa? I'm not crazy here. Is there a second state fair in Illinois? Wow. Born and raised in Haktua, Luke Davison is no stranger to the fairgrounds.
You know that lady was a teacher. The one that did that whatever was a teacher, and she got fired for that.
Oh yeah, she's gonna do her own like a clothing line now or whatever, meme line or something. They're putting her all over everything. Let's see his involvement. Illinois. Yeah, that's weird. His involvement in the Haktua State Fair dates back to childhood when he used to sell programs at horse and car races. Selling programs. People used to buy those. That's funny. He also spent 6 summers during. Okay, this is a little history lesson on this guy.
So Duquesne is in Illinois. Or no, wait.
Twilight Parade.
It's down in the southern part of Illinois.
Okay. That's weird. You ever heard of Duquesne, Elisa May?
I have heard of it.
It's north of the Shawnee National Forest, and it's southeast of St. Louis. It's in Illinois.
Guys,
the only other place that I thought it could be was maybe Iowa, because all of that area was settled by the French, or was owned by the French at one time initially.
I didn't put this out earlier, but please hit the like button. If you guys hit that like button, you guys will be on a wheel for a game night ticket. And I'm going to set up the wheel right now. Date and restart. Oh, I got to restart Firefox. Okay, it's going to take me a minute. But then we're going to do, I'll add in the people who are over on X and Rumble. Get you guys an extra spot on the wheel. And then we're going to do a couple of spins on the number wheel.
You want to know my current event?
Let's hear it.
I stopped eating Starbucks birthday cake pops because they're made from a parasitic red beetle dye.
They're made from what?
I saw that.
Beetle.
I guess, though, I saw that somebody did some research on it, just from what I saw. I don't know if it's true, but they said that's not an actual parasite. It's just it's a bug, but that's what it's called, though. It's a parasitic or parasite beetle or something.
It's made from bugs? Was that why
that was enough to make me stop eating it alone. Tell me it's made from bugs. I went to Starbucks today and the lady's like, "You don't want your cake pops?" I was like, "No, Joe told me they're made from red beetles."
What did they say? Did they try to stop you? Like, no, that's not true.
No, she said, "Oh, you're gonna have to try this other one when it comes out on some holiday." I didn't want to tell her I'm good. Just give me my coffee and I'm
Like,
out of here.
like what crazy bug does that one come from? Like, what do you mean?
The new cicadas that are all over.
Ugh.
Start using them.
Oh, cicada pops. Mm.
It's just like there's certain flavors, I think, like strawberry, like artificial flavors that are made out of the musk glands of skunks or beavers or something.
I saw that.
Gross.
Beaver, it was like their glands. Yeah, it makes strawberry flavoring, I think, on most things.
Yeah, it's not just strawberry.
Red dye.
Do what?
I said, what we'll do for some red dye.
Yeah. You know, I have to say, I used to call myself a Diet Coke-aholic. For many, many years, I exclusively drank Diet Coke. And when I say exclusively, that means I didn't drink water or anything else. I just drank Diet Coke.
Wow.
And it was back in the late 90s to early 2000s, probably more the early 2000s, that I had a friend at the time that was a nurse, and she was all into holistic stuff and whatnot. And she said, you really should get off of that Diet Coke because of that, whatever that sweetener is in it.
Aspartame.
Yeah, that it has implications in brain health. And I just kind of like, I heard her, but like, I don't know. I'm one of these people when it comes to certain things that I don't necessarily believe what I hear. I learn things the hard way sometimes, I guess. But anyway, so you fast forward to like around 2014. Well, let me back up a minute. So I started having migraines really, really bad in my 30s. I mean, they were debilitating. And so, and this was around the time that this lady told me this, and I just poo-pooed it, you know? And then in 2015, I was having a conversation with a coworker, and she was telling me that her grandmother had exclusively drank Diet Coke, and she felt like the Diet Coke had caused her grandmother to get Lewy body dementia, which is what Robin Williams had, and that's what her grandmother died from. And something in my brain clicked at that time, because I was having really bad brain fog and just still the migraines and whatnot. And I quit drinking Diet Coke. I haven't had a diet. I don't drink any soda pop now. But that shit that they have in that, I'm telling you, there is something going on with my brain. Like I firmly, I don't know. I'm afraid.
My mom was bad on the Diet Coke too.
Yeah. And it's, you know, this stuff that they have, these preservatives, all of this stuff that they put in our food is just super toxic. And, you know, they're like, well, you know, it's FDA approved and whatever. And it's like, but I don't know.
Do you believe, or I guess, what percentage of the industry do you believe is on purpose, and what percentage? I like to try to take is it maleficence or maliciousness? Not sure what the right word is there, but I like to take that out of the situation and think, for many years we used products that we just didn't know the dangers of, and then it gets embedded into, like, say, asbestos or whatever. And then once we find out it's dangerous, like, they try to hold that secret in as much as they can to try to squeeze a little bit more profit out. Like, I don't know how much of that is knowingly using things like, say, bad pesticides or whatever, and how much of it is like they just didn't know how bad the product was or whatever. Like, think cigarettes or whatever. Like, we know, we've seen some documentaries and that movie about the cigarette companies where they knew that they were causing cancer and they were selling it anyway. And people still smoke cigarettes. A lot of people I know.
Well, and they made cigarettes, they put stuff in it to make them even more addictive.
I know, and that's crazy. But you know what though? It's not that crazy because for me, it's sugar. I thought I was like, can I go and get like what is it? What's the word? Fuck, I can't think of the word. Hypnotized. To like think sugar tastes like poop or something. Like make can you make sugar taste like, just something really gross? Make me think of gross things when I think of sugar or sweet. Like, I wonder if that's possible. But we already know that hypnotism can work on some people for cigarettes. You ever seen that happen? Where it's like actually works. You go and get the hypnotizing. Joe, you ever tried it?
No, but Joe needs to go get hypnotized and see if he could stop.
It can work. I've seen it work, but I've also seen cold turkey work. Steve-O, what's up over on the Rumble?
I quit cold turkey.
Ted, come on up, man. Ted, Steve-O, come on up. You quit cold turkey? I've smoked a handful of cigarettes just for fun, to freak people out in front of me, like my friends. I'd be like, yeah, I'll take one. Like maybe 5 to 10, or maybe more, maybe 10 or 20 cigarettes my whole life. But it was never ever something where it was like, oh yeah, that's good, I want another one. It was literally just for like shits and giggles a few times. Probably not 20. That seems like too many. Like it was like a handful, really. I smoked one when I was in Iraq. I had my roommate had these Camel cigarettes. And I was like, give me one of those. Yeah, I was getting bored. I was getting tired of feeling like, just sitting around, working around in our trucks and our motor pool. So give me that give me one of those cigarettes. So I tried it. Man, I felt like the worst hangover I ever felt. Like 5 minutes later, like, oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, they're nasty.
What's up, Perry? Appreciate you.
I smoked until I was 21. And then when I got pregnant, the doctor was like, if you don't quit smoking, and then you can't care about that baby that's inside of you, because every time you take a puff, you're cutting off his oxygen. And that was my first visit. By the end of the visit, I was like, well, screw you, you ain't my doctor. But then I went home and thought about what he was telling me, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. He's right.
Yeah, and what sucks is a lot of things, and cigarettes is just one of those things, but when a woman is pregnant, and then the man, and Joe maybe can attest to this, like when we are still able to say drink or smoke, there's that sort of contention in relations. Like I had that with my son where I was like, well, I can still smoke and go and drink and go and do this or that, but she can't. And so a lot of guys sometimes, some guys will try to refrain as well with that, but it's a hard thing, between the one that has to carry the baby and has to stop, because it's like she said, cutting off the baby's air. Like, well, some couples are like, you know what, you're stopping too. To the man, like, you have to stop while I'm pregnant because it's only fair, right? I feel like it's fair. I don't see it being a too
I
big.
just said Joey can't smoke in the house because I'm still getting secondhand.
Yeah, well, smoking would be harder than say like drinking, or pot even would be harder too. Well, I hate to call it pot, cannabis. That would be hard too if you were like, well, if I have to quit, you got to quit. Like, man, how would you do that? But I get it. It's hard either way. But so you guys got through the storm with relative ease. No, a couple trees down. I actually didn't even get any rain in my basement, which is weird. No water came in at all. Normally, when it rains real heavy, I'll get like a little bit. Not enough for a $10,000 sump pump system to be put in. Like, I'll hold off on that for a little bit. Let me think. What else? Oh, we got the registration coming up soon. Registration is open already for kids. You guys got yours registered yet?
No, I do it online, but I need to do that.
Yeah, we got to do that too. Kim's already started school back.
Yeah. Yeah, I went down today. I had so I teach high school, and I had to check my students' classes, my caseload kids, and to make sure that they got, their schedules are cool and whatnot. And I had several that their classes were not correct or whatever, and so I had to go down to the counselors. So I walked down to where they're all at, and I'm walking along. And I wasn't paying attention because there's all this hubbub in our building. They're having a lot of professional development from around the district out there and whatnot. So I wasn't really paying attention. So I walked up and the counselors had their tables set up like right there. And I went to turn in the door and then I realized that the counselors were sitting there and I was like, what are you guys doing out here? And they're like, oh, we're registering. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So they're still registering kids. You know, we have all of our kids that I think what they're doing is they're passing out schedules. They're out there, you know, for the kids to come pick up their schedules. And for like if you have new kids that are coming in to register and whatnot. We've had a tremendous amount of growth in our school, in our sector of our district. Our area out here is where all the growth is at with all the people that are moving here. There's a lot of houses that are being built and stuff. In fact, that's where my house is being built out here in this area where there's all this new growth. So there's a lot of people that are moving here from out of state. It's crazy. Our school is busting at the seams.
Yo, what's up, Gabe? Guys, Gabe or anybody else out there that wants, Gabe, you gotta get up in the morning. You're probably in bed. Anybody at all that wants to come up and share what's going on, current events, guys, hit that like button. Well, I already got all the like buttons on this wheel, unfortunately, but go and subscribe and you're going to get on the next wheel that I'm going to spin after this twice. I'm going to spin 2 more wheels, actually. I see you, Cindy. I got you twice from the Rumble and from the X. And it looks like I got everybody else from Facebook. All right. So if you guys want to come up, though, I did pin the link in the Facebook chat. Anybody that wants to share, come on up. I don't care. Let's get into it. We want to get into the all the stupid conspiracy theories going on. I can just tell you this. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going to happen, and I do know that it's really cringe. There's some really cringe things happening that's kind of funny. If you want, we could pull that up on X. Have you seen the video of people wearing like bandages over their ears now?
Oh my God. That's so dumb.
You're gonna
funny.
You're gonna
funny,
cringe, though. It's very cringe.
Dumb.
It's very embarrassing and very cringe. I gotta say, but it is very funny too.
Well, I've seen memes, and it's just it appeals to me. I'm a sarcastic person, so it appeals to that sarcastic, smarmy side of my personality, that kind of shit. But you know what they're doing is they're mocking Trump supporters is what they're doing. Have you seen those?
They are Trump supporters doing it.
But have you seen them? Oh, are they?
Which makes it like just the cringiest. Like,
oh my God, I didn't realize that people were actually doing it. I thought it was.
I'm gonna pull it up after this.
Contrived thing that people were just mocking. Yeah.
No,
Trump supporters. I didn't realize that people were like, what are they doing it in effigy? Like,
I'm gonna find it here. I'm gonna find it.
Oh my Jesus!
And we'll pull it up.
Hard to tell what's fake and what's not.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It may not even be. It might not even be real. Like I said, every time I see anything, I always leave that spot open for the not even real. You know, like I literally like if you really want to talk like that's why I don't want to feed into. And I truly believe this. I'm not making a joke, but Trump derangement syndrome is a thing where people are only focused on the one guy, and it's like, are you kidding me? There's people around him and in the government who's been there like longer than I've been alive, and we know that thing is rotten to the core. So if we really want to we can say, yeah, I can give you every criticism you have about the one guy, but then can we focus again back on how way worse the whole apparatus, the whole system, the whole thing is? Like, can we, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I get lost in the sauce when somebody is so hardcore focused on even one guy on either side. Like, I feel really sad and bad for Biden, to be honest, because of what they're like puppeting him through. Like, that's just terrible what they're doing to that man. But let's see if I can find that video, because you guys, it is the cringiest, funniest thing I saw on X today. There's a lot of people like with sort of calling for death and stuff and all sorts of directions, and I'm not down with all that.
Yeah, I
But
think that's ridiculous. These people that are extremists, I don't like that. Like, I don't like Trump, and I can't stand him, and I'm not going to be shy about saying that. And I'm a conservative, so. But anyway, I don't wish him dead. I don't wish him harmed. I don't wish him bad. I mean, I wish him justice is what I wish.
It all needs
Okay.
overhaul.
yeah, I can totally be down with that. Okay, here it is. I found it. Oh my God, I got to show this before we do the spin. If you're here and you're not a member of my subscription community, you will have to be here to win. So just keep that in mind. Real quick, I'm gonna pull up the video.
Is this at the convention?
Yeah,
Oh, I think that's real.
I think it is too. But remember, I said this before. It doesn't matter which side you're looking at. You can find the extreme sort of sheeple, the people who are so like in it to win it that there's no convincing them of anything else. You're gonna find that on both sides. Like these are the people who are like, drank the Kool-Aid and all of it.
Well,
like-
you have people like
Hilarious though.
it is hilarious, but
Oh my God.
I get it. I understand it. I understand why people would do that. Like, it's kind of like,
Thank you, Cindy.
have you seen where they wear red t-shirts to support military people that are overseas or something like that?
Yeah, and now we have all the ribbons too. We got the ribbon.
Yeah. And I think it's just people, to me, when I look at something like that, it's just people like in solidarity. That's like people are like coming around him. His supporters are coming around him. I don't see it as being like, I don't know, something
It's
like
just
that.
cringe. I wouldn't say cult-like. I would just say cringe. That's all.
Yeah, it is cringy. It's weird, but I think I think it's just people showing their solidarity and support of him, and along those lines. Like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I
let's
don't
be
think
honest.
it's that far-fetched. It's weird, but I don't think it's that far-fetched, honestly.
I made a joke. I said, there's nothing.
But I'll make fun of that shit.
There's nothing that weird about. I said the joke is like, Biden supporters do it too, but they wear Depends, and theirs can't be seen. So it's just a different trend,
Yeah. See, like, I make fun of that. I'll make fun of that shit. In fact, I think I posted, because I saw a meme of a family that had their ears all done like that. I didn't realize that people were really, really doing it, but I don't know. I made fun of it, but that's just my personality.
Well, this is the first, you guys. I just try to do a dab with a cold e-nail. It's my first time.
With a
always got to warm up your tip. A cold e-nail. I just put it in there thinking, cheers, and I was like, what's happening? There's nothing happening. Anyway, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what else. So we did go to that event, and I had Guy on last night. That was a good episode. Steve-O showed off his pictures tonight on his episode. Yeah, it was awesome. I hope to go. There's another one coming up in Mo Fest. It's so much further away, but it might be something I'm going to try to go to. I don't know. It's like August or September 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to figure it out because those are pretty fun events, but working a table was hard. It was difficult, but also I did get a lot of footage, so I think it was worth it.
Those events are a lot of fun.
Elisa May, did you go on the slip and slide? No, I heard. So happy hippie was talking about the slip and slide they had out. And of course, they had a pool and stuff, so there was a whole event down there too over the weekend, and so there was a lot of events, and a lot of fun. I mean, it's been a weird summer for me because it's been this kind of rain is very unusual midway through July. Is it not? Like, it seems really weird that we're getting so much rain still.
Well, we're having hurricane earlier. We're having early hurricanes. One, but you know what's crazy? You're not the only one that's having weird weather. We've had these microbursts, and a lot. So there's certain areas. There's an area between Arizona and New Mexico that gets them, and they're deadly over there because it's a dry, deserted, ancient lake bed. So there's this really fine particulate dust that comes up from these downdrafts. And if you don't know what a downdraft is where rain literally, it's like a faucet opens up from the sky, and this deluge of water and air just comes straight down to the earth. And so it hits the earth, and it causes these winds, like hurricane force winds. And in that area where it usually hits, in that dust, it causes haboobs, and we'll have horrible accidents. Like, you'll see these chain reaction.
What did you call it? It causes
microburst.
It causes haboobs.
Yeah.
What's a haboob?
It's a dust storm. You don't know what a haboob is? They have them over in the Middle East.
I mean, look, I like haboobs, but I don't know if I've ever seen what you're talking about. No, I've never heard that term.
Oh, you've never? They're the sandstorms, and they're notorious over in the Middle East. I didn't realize.
I've been through some sandstorms, but we never called them that.
Yeah. So they cause they cause haboobs, and we've had a lot more instances of haboobs here in the last several years. And this year alone, in my community, in the last 3 weeks, we've had 4.
Good luck, everybody.
We've had 4 microbursts. In fact, it happened. We had one just prior to. We had one. I was sitting here doing my show on a Sunday, and I'm sitting here talking, and all of a sudden my power went out, and it was out for 6 hours because it snapped. The winds snapped 3 power poles and knocked out the whole power all the way up this whole area where I live. There were like 10,000 people that were affected by it. And they had one the day before that knocked out the power in Doñana, which is a little community. There's probably about 8,000 people in that community, and they were without power for an entire week with that one. And then we had another one just about 5 days prior to that. And then after the one that hit where it knocked out my power, they had another one a few days later.
Yeah.
How can you be the winner? That's not fair.
You know what? Say it to the haboobs. I think I might even do a swag pack giveaway for like hashtag haboob in the comments.
You're silly.
Hashtag haboob, everybody.
Yeah, so everybody's having like really weird weather. I mean, look at the East Coast being hit by all these heat waves. Northern California has been frying. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'll tell you what I believe. I believe that our magnetosphere is about to get flipped in about 5 or 10 years, and it's gradual, but then it's sudden. So it's gradually changing things, and I think our brains are being fucked up with because we already know magnets affect our brains. And if our magnetosphere starts to weaken for the next few years until it does the flip, which supposedly our planet will flip 90 degrees, and the magnetospheres will be, or like the poles will flip. And if the poles flip in like one day, it's going to cause some insanity. Cindy
Yeah.
Paul wins. Congrats, Cindy.
Cindy Paul.
How the hell you spell that, Casey? Yeah, you're right. Good call. Good question. Loretta took a stab at it. Loretta, what's up? Over on X. Haboob. Hashtag Haboob. See?
I think it's spelled just like it sounds.
What's up, Jeff? You're muted, Elisa.
Oh, damn. I've been muted for a while now.
I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
Well, we ain't had to water no plants outside here, and we got this beautiful pear off the tree outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean normally you have to water your outside, like your trees and stuff?
All the plants around the house. Usually we have to water them.
I never mess with mine.
Hey,
But at least rain once or twice a week so far. So
I think, did Steve-O's plants get all ruined? I know he had concerns about it the other day.
Not that I know of. He didn't say anything on the show.
I saw something he mentioned about it, but I've been so doggone busy this week that, like, I haven't been able to keep up with everything.
Yeah, Jeff, we spun the wheel already, brother.
Hey, Waylon.
Yes.
Google Haboob and bring it up, the pictures of it.
Oh, man, I'd love to see pictures of Haboobs.
Looking like a horny male.
Look. All people love boobs. Like, I'm pretty sure all people love boobs, not just men.
Dude, I was somewhere recently, and there was this guy, I think it was at a store, and there was a guy, and he was a heavy set guy, but he wasn't that heavy set. He had a rack. I thought, you poor guy, that I was not in the least bit turned on by that.
yeah,
no, those are
they're
moobs.
not as attractive.
Yeah, those are moobs. That's different.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. That's a haboob.
Oh man, that thing is like perky too.
She didn't make it up. It's real.
Yep.
And let me see the spelling. Yeah, Haboob.
Yeah, spelled just like it sounds.
And the plural, I believe, is haboobies. Is the plural. Got her. Yeah, Jeff, that's called a moob. A moob. Moob.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty gross. I'll never forget one day I was.
Oh, no, Margaret. What?
When I lived in California, one day I was driving somewhere, and I was at the stoplight, and this man was walking across the crosswalk at the light, and he had his shirt unbuttoned, and he had boobs as big as mine. I was like, oh my God, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Are you sure you weren't jealous?
No, because his boobs look nasty, dude. My boobs didn't. My boobs don't look like that. They were long, like they looked like
hair. I got you.
I didn't notice any hair. I wasn't really looking at that. I was horrified. They look like torpedo tits.
Oh wow,
they were ugly.
That seems.
I thought, oh, what the hell causes that?
I don't know if you saw this. Steve-O says the plants were good. Storm didn't hurt
good.
it. Yeah.
Good. I know he was worried about it. So
those storms were pretty crazy, man. I really thought, man, I'm gonna have to be down here bucketing water all night for my fish.
Yeah, he got lucky with the winds that they didn't go flying.
What, do you live in Illinois too?
Yes.
Elisa?
Yeah. Like
what part?
30 minutes from Wayland. Bloomington, normal.
I think my brother lives over by Bloomington. I don't think he lives directly in Bloomington, but he lives over by Bloomington, I think.
SCNR News is one of the sources I check out. Trending topics, espionage, spying, South Korea. These are very political-driven topics. Max Boot. I don't know what that is. Donald Trump Jr., Farah, Sue Me Terry. Wife of Washington Post columnist Max Boot indicted for secretly working for South Korean intelligence. Holy cow. Has anyone seen this?
What is it?
The wife of Washington Post columnist Max Boot was indicted for secretly working for South Korean intelligence.
Yep, there's probably so much of that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Is there no story here? Oh, here it is. Sumi Terry, wife of Washington Post columnist Max Boot, has been arrested and indicted by a grand jury on charges for secretly working for South Korean government. South Korea, aren't we friends with South Korea?
Yeah.
What? Like you'd think it was the North Korean government if she's so it was it's because it's a secret. Like they were secretly having her work for them. Interesting.
Well, she looks Asian. She looks Korean.
Yeah, so she's probably from South Korea, right? Terry served in several U.S. government positions from 2001 to 2011, including with the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, as the Deputy National Intelligence Officer for East Asia at the National Intelligence Council. Wow. According to the Department of Justice, I need to look for these acronyms first. According to the DOJ, after leaving government service, Terry worked as an agent for the Republic of Korea, commonly known as South Korea, for more than a decade without registering as a foreign agent with the Attorney General in violation of federal law. Wow. What is this? In exchange, she received luxury goods, expensive dinners, and more than $37,000 in funding for the public policy programs she controlled. Gifts she allegedly received included a $2,950 Bottega Veneta handbag. I'm not sure of these names. I know Louis Vuitton, $3,400 Louis Vuitton bag, $2,800 Dolce & Gabbana coat. You gotta go potty, girly?
That Bottega Veneta is Italian. It's an Italian designer.
Okay. A valued source of information. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What else do we have here? What's FARA? America's first legal sue AG Merrick Garland and the DOJ for failing to require Hunter Biden to register as a foreign agent. Oh, snap. Interesting. I'm not going to read that one, but it sounds complicated. Spying. Oh, there's a lot of spying going on. New Senate bill would force small businesses to spy for the NSA. What? Senator says the legislation is one of the most dramatic and terrifying expansions of government. See, now this is something I'd be worried about, not some, possible project. Last week, the U.S. House passed legislation extending Foreign Intelligence Services Act, the FISA Act, Section 702, authority for 2 years following protracted debate and several attempts to force federal authorities to obtain a warrant before searching Americans. So, yeah, these are going to be...
I have a feeling a lot of that stuff is going to get challenged under the new Supreme Court, and it's going to get overturned.
I hope so.
Because it's a very conservative court, and they're very anti-regulatory and very much states' rights.
It's kind of a libertarian lean, maybe. That would be good for the court. FBI conducted 200,000 of these backdoor searches in 2022 alone. Wow. 200,000 backdoor searches. They're watching you when you're sitting on the toilet. They're watching you when you're picking your nose. They're watching you, when you're doing all the other things. They're just pulling up your phone whenever they feel like it. Let's see. According to the Brennan Center for Justice, alarmingly, FBI agents have searched for communications of tens of thousands of Americans engaged in civil unrest, including Black Lives Matter protesters, as well as as members of Congress, journalists, and more than 19,000 donors of congressional campaigns. Man.
Yeah, they've got that FISA thing, like wasn't FISA the one that they enacted related to going after the what do you call it, the insurgents, the people in oh my god, like Bin Laden and all of those guys, right?
Right, I think it was 2001.
Yeah, they enacted that to catch people who were doing domestic terrorism or doing terrorists is what they were going after. I don't know, but they've got too broad of a reach on that. That's going to get struck down by this court at some point. Watch.
Yeah, there's something like there's too many czars and backroom or like courts to skip around our Constitution now. I mean, we got to do something about that.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out. An amendment included in a suit of reauthorization packages containing language expanding the government's domestic spying so radically that lawmakers call it terrifying.
All of terrifying. Corrupt.
Bill represents one of the most dramatic and terrifying expansions of government surveillance authority in history. I will do everything in my power to stop it. Okay, I don't know the guy, but
Wyden, I bet you he's a Republican.
He is. It says R. It says R, Oregon.
Oh yeah, Oregon. Wow, a Republican in Oregon? That's crazy. I thought
ORE. I'm not sure whatever that means.
That's Oregon.
Then he's probably a rhino.
Rhino. I didn't know that there were. I thought Oregon, Washington, all those areas over there were strong Democratic strongholds.
I would have thought the same, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on there, but let me shut this up. All right, let me get this other wheel going before it's getting to that time. Oh, the wheel's actually on this side. So
Good night, Gerald Jones. Hey, Gabrielle. It's nice to see you.
Gerald, did you get a number on locals? Anybody that hasn't got a number, I'm going over there now. Pick up.
I got to go turn my air conditioner off. It's freezing me out.
I'm going to go.
All right, Lisa. Thank you for coming up and hanging out.
Yeah,
have a good night. Bye, Joe. Okay, we got 21. I need to put a 21 on here.
Oh, where did Lisa May go?
She said that she was going to leave. She
popped out. Okay. I didn't know. Sometimes she loses signal or something.
Gabrielle, I'm going to get you a number as well. Gabrielle's going to be number 22. Gabrielle, you are number 22. You are a Facebook-only subscriber, so I'm going to add you in on the list over here. Yeah, what? McPherson. It's number 22. Okay, got it down on the list. There we go. Oh, looks like Sir Steve-O got in there. 1 second there. I'm not seeing it. Here we go. So you are number 23. 23, Sir Steve-O. Number 23. Oh, you already got your number. That's right, Gerald. Not bad. Margaret, I believe you got one already. Yep, you did. Who won yesterday? Margaret won a big package yesterday. We decided just randomly to give away a package, a glass set, a Chillum and bowl set. It's really cool, like blue swirl from a glass blower, and also a shirt for the Herbal Roots Canafest, plus some stickers he said he had. So, man, that's awesome. That's an awesome win, Margaret. Shouts out. And then Sean Cook won the Grow Fam seed starter kit prize. That was pretty cool. All right, Steve-O, I got you number 23. We're going to spin this a couple times. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that swag pack. Sorry, guys. I got excited about the Haboobs. And I don't know if I have any enough swag really to give out. Although I did get bigger bubbler packs or bubbler mailers, so I can actually mail out the rolling trays that I have. So maybe I'll just spin one more time or I'll give you guys a chance to get swag. I probably can only give out 1 or 2 swag packs with the stuff that I have. I didn't get a lot at this last event. I got some. I got a Tedibles. A drink holder, drink carrier, or no, koozie. It's called a koozie.
A drink carrier.
Look, I've had a lot of dabs. You have never once seen you do any smokages on the air. Okay, just once. I'd like to see Kim Axtell do a little bit of the cannabis on air.
I have smoked, and I was dumb as shit. That's why I don't mix business with pleasure, because
it's kind of like
the freaking Dumb and Dumber.
You know the legend of the drunken monk, like you know the kung fu style of being like drunk all the time. You know what? You were outside before the show. I don't know what. Who let you down here? Go on, go. You're gonna look at me like that? She must be back to her old self. That's for sure.
Did she
Number
find
7. Yeah, but that wasn't the problem. She's got a pinched nerve in her back.
Oh.
So like we
she's
said,
not pooping?
well, she's doing that just fine. It's just it could have been why she was having trouble. Yeah, but yeah, she's on medication. She's on a steroid right now. I have a prescription for pain meds for her, but I don't think she's gonna need it. I'm glad I didn't get them. Actually, let's look at who number 7 is.
You might try water therapy with her too. That might be helpful. Like where you take them to a pool.
A dog pool would be awesome to be.
No, not a dog pool. I don't know. I've seen them do water therapy for dogs that have spinal injuries or hip, you know.
I've been giving her CBD, CBG.
Yeah.
Ooh, Sandy wins. Okay, Sandy, congrats. Who won that spin earlier? Oh, Cindy Paul, right? Cindy won the game night ticket. You know what? I don't like your attitude. Okay, episode 103. I forgot to fill out my paperwork here. Today is the 18th. 24. You're pressuring me over there. All these fine people are here. She's looking at me like, you know what, bitch. All right.
So when does your son start back to school?
I'm not sure exactly, but it is registration open already. Let's see. Ticket goes to Cindy Paul.
You want to hear something funny?
Oh, I'm dying to hear something funny.
So I went at work today. I went down to speak to somebody that I work with, and I walked into her room, and we were talking, and she says, "I must be hungry. I'm smelling food all of a sudden." And I said, so I looked at her and I said, and I kind of sniffed around and I didn't smell any food. And I said, "Does it smell like fried chicken?" And she says, "Yeah, now that you say it, yeah, it smells like fried chicken." And I said, "Well, I just had a couple of chicken tenders about 15 minutes ago. So you must be smelling my chicken tender breath."
Oh, I thought it was chicken tender farts.
No. Ooh, that's gross.
Like, oh, is this somebody cooking? Nope.
Right?
I just farted. So, is there a hashtag, Gabrielle? No, you are on this wheel because you are a subscriber. You're number 22. And Cindy won the other wheel that was for people hitting the like button. I think it was just before you got here. And Cindy won the game night ticket. Extra play on game night. The number 9. Yeah, you were number 22, Gabrielle. Yeah, I give a number out to any of the Facebook subscribers that come through on the show on Facebook, but on locals, I make a post for everybody to come through and hit the like button and comment. Okay, it would be Brenda, it looks like. Brenda, number 9. Today is my Friday. I'm hoping to get a new what do you call it? A new map, I guess, a new shop to play with on Sunday for the game night. So I gotta get some time to put that together. I do have my son this weekend too, but we are going to be live tomorrow night on Fam Friday. A bunch of the Grow Fam creators are going to be over there on that live stream. So I'll be up on that. But yeah, congratulations to Sandy and Brenda. I better put a V so I don't get that confused. And I know I got a few people to pay still. I should do that probably right after this. I'll catch on. You're the only one I'm subscribed to. Gabrielle, that is awesome. I appreciate that. You always listen. Anytime you have any questions on how it works or what you're missing out on or anything, hit me up in the DMs and I will fill you in because it's a little bit easier than me trying to remember everything here while live. What I missed something here. Cindy says, "I'm off this week too." You're off this week. Oh, I see. So that gives you a chance to play 3 weeks in a row. That's what's up. Yeah, see, that game night ticket I think is awesome. Yeah, it's a thing I made up, but heck, man, it's giving people extra wins. I think it's cool. I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. Kim, you're about due to play again, I guess, but
Do you need me to play?
maybe, but you may not want to play against the current champion. But the current champion has been winning a couple weeks, so we'll see how this one goes. Last week was an interesting game. It's kind of a transition game between games, and it went well. But anyway, guys, it's been fun. If you are interested in supporting me and all of the different things I do, I'm a little bit all over the place, but they're all generally along the same lines, right? Along the same reason for being out here on the interwebs. So come and subscribe, and I will give you more value back than you put in, and that's a guarantee right there. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Come over to locals for sure, because locals, I tell you what, Facebook guys, I'm going to say it again. I said it yesterday. I don't know when I said it last actually, but I had a restriction put on my account from a live stream I did at my garden, at my aquaponics system. No cannabis there. And it was like a 30-second video, and it shut off with some errors, like gave me some error. Well, then later it tells me that this video went against community standards for like wanting to sell guns and sell drugs and stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was like less than a minute of me standing in front of my garden, and I did the thing where you can ask them to review it. And it was just ridiculous because they review it and they said, oh, yeah, the AI says, sorry, you're out of luck. And so my point is, locals is the only way that I can guarantee that they can't mess with my monetization. If Facebook doesn't like me enough, if I talk out too much, if I do the wrong thing, they could shut off my subscriptions anytime.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that they already take more of a cut from some Facebook. So, and I've talked to somebody recently that had a problem with like trying to figure out locals. It does take a little time. It's a different app, but I suggest hitting me up, talking to other people on it if you have that kind of a problem, and we'll try to help you get through it. Because for the most part, I can send a screenshot and like circle something where you get wherever you're trying to find it. And but yeah, I suggest anybody that wants to help support, they want to get in on game night and stuff, to go to locals and check it out, because it's a much better way to sort of sidestep all of this restrictions. And some people's like your group, Kim had to rebuild her whole group for this kind of thing. Like, Kim,
Yeah.
imagine if you're already on locals, you could open up a free locals community, and and just tell your group members kind of in passing every so often, hey guys, just in case this group goes down, join my community over here on locals. It's free, because you can make it free. I added the paywall for parts of it in order to create the game night and everything else. Obviously it's a different thing. I can put out content and make it the free content or whatever. So there's differences over there. So you could make it as an alternative, because man, rebuilding a group multiple times, that's annoying. Yeah. Or Discord is another good place to have a secondary way to keep your group. But anyway, I'm rambling.
I'm kind of scared about Discord. There's a lot of shady stuff that happens over there.
Gabrielle, is there a list of my lives? There is not. Well, there is somewhere. I've made lists of it, but I've made different covers with my schedule. But
Gabrielle, he has a live every night except Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I was gonna say. Every night I take 2 days off, and I don't really take those off either. I end up doing all kinds of stuff, but I may not work as hard as I did at a job for 8 hours, but I do work 24 hours now. Like I get a little bit of sleep here and there, but I make up for it in like the fact that it's what I want to do. I need to put more time in the plant side though, in the farm side. Definitely. I spend a lot of time doing too many other things, but that's just me. On YouTube? Yeah, I'm on Kick, but I didn't know I could get subscribers on YouTube. Or you mean you just followed me on YouTube? Yeah. I thought I had to be a certain thing where they let you. Huh.
Maybe she's following you.
I see. Yeah, I'm on Kick too. Yep. Kick, I'm trying to get like 4 or 5 more followers before I can get subscribers on Kick. At least per Twisty's word, what he said I needed anyway. All right. Well, it's been fun, Kim. Thanks to Elisa May for coming up. We really I've been kind of sad. Like, I'm not going to stop doing this. I'll do this show by myself if it comes to it. But I always, at first and for a long time, we had a lot more people wanting to pop up and give their peace of mind and hang out and have a session and kind of share their experience. But for some reason, it's just kind of it's not easy to find panel members. So if anybody's out there wants to be on the panel, let us know. You can
What
always
happened
do
to
it.
that dude that's a friend of yours?
He's a busy guy too. Like everybody's busy. Honestly, it's going to be like one day when I've put in enough work and gotten enough subscribers to where I have, what people can perceive as like tons of money or whatever. Even if I'm like all tied up and like, all the things I'm spending it on, but people at some point there'll be a perception of my level, and people will be flocking to be on the show. So I know that will happen. I just got to keep putting in the work. It's just, that's how it works. It's how it happens. Like the people around you, they almost always like have this, there's like this animosity from your local like family and friends and stuff, because there's a reflection. They see a reflection in themselves that they're not doing their own thing. They're not creating a business. They're not trying to build a following. They're not, and maybe they think it's silly, but then there's some part of them that maybe, feel like, oh, well, it kind of makes them feel less about themselves or something. I've heard it. I've heard celebrities say it. I've heard a lot of big creators, YouTubers talking about this sort of phenomenon. It's weird. But once they've made enough money, then suddenly family and friends are interested in getting a job.
Right.
It's somehow this weird flip, but I'm not saying I'm even ever going to make it to that point, but that's the point. I'd love to employ family. That's a whole nother conversation, but I think for sure, I think for me anyway, I would be a little harder on family, and also I'd be looking at them harder, watching for like, not for them to do something bad, but to look for their strengths. Like, because even if you have a family run business, the typical issue is that you let your family do things that they're not qualified for, and they're probably not very good at, or whatever it is. But instead you still try to find their strengths. But anyway, that could be a whole nother episode. Family run businesses, like them or not, like them or don't. That could be next week. Actually, it's kind of an interesting topic. A lot of us have worked for a family run business. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a good friend. We've been friends for more than 30 years.
Okay.
And they own a business, and both of their sons work there. The oldest son is like, I don't know, he's running the business now because dad's kind of semi-retired and will be retiring. But the younger son was working there, and it's not his thing. The younger son is a total introvert, kind of a kid. I don't know. And
See a difference. Yeah.
well, in the business it's caliche. It's like it's frozen custard, and it's wildly popular. Like everybody loves caliche. And, for an introvert working in that kind of a business, and then working for the dad is like, dad is a wonderful they're great people. I love them. But he has very high expectations, and he's critical. And the younger son just like, I don't know, it just wasn't his thing, and it just didn't work out.
That's the problem with what we do when we pass things on. The next generation is not the same person that fought to create something.
Nope. Yeah.
Gabrielle says my group is awesome. Gabrielle, if you're still here, what's your group? Have a great light giveaway right now. Make sure you answer the questions. What's the name of the group? Am I in the group already?
Waylon.
Like I want to promote you. If you're a subscriber of mine, I am all down for promoting. If you are on locals, you can actually post like you can promote yourself in the community there. It's kind of like a group, but on a different app. You might be. Yeah, I might be. But yeah, I give that option to people who are subscribed. If they want to promote something, or if you want to share something into my group, I can share it in for you. No one else can share anything into my group. I kind of like it that way. I do have a group on Facebook, but it's just for me to be able to share things in and do that everyone, and I can share other people's stuff in. Like I just said, it's actually once it gets bigger, it might be a really cool thing to share my subscriber stuff into it, as a for them kind of thing.
Did you see what Lisa May was talking about lab grown chicken?
Yeah, she says they say it's much healthier stuff. Look it up. I mean,
I ain't eating nothing like that. That's gross.
I'm not sure what she means by lab grown, because I've seen what like actual cell cultures turned into meat, but she might also be talking about chickens grown in a lab with like actual chickens, but just in a lab environment. I don't know. I'll look it up later, but we're over time, 2 hours 10 minutes. It is we do have 65 people in the house, so if you guys could please hit that like button if you haven't yet already, I do appreciate it. Most of you are over on X. A lot of the X people are coming and going, but if you are watching me on X for the first time, please hit that follow. I just hit 461 followers on X. It's coming up fast. It's I'm getting in with the big dogs. I get in these spaces where people have million followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and some of them will look down on accounts with low followers. Some of them won't. Sometimes I can get up there, mix it up with them, get in there with some of these people I've only ever seen on other shows and stuff like that. Marjorie Taylor Greene is in there sometimes. Destiny's in there just spewing hate, and I'm just like, this like other, he was a gamer, then a YouTuber, like kind of some kind of a weird far, sort of a leftist kind of commentator, but he's pretty nasty. He's been on.
Oh, he's the one that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, huh? She's something. That woman.
Tanya's Grow Room. Gabrielle, those two do sound familiar. So she's got Doobie Gooby and Token Tanya's Grow Room. They sound familiar, but yeah, send me an invite for sure. And anybody out there want to go check it out? Check it out. She said she got a big light giveaway going on right now. Although I don't know if Gabrielle is her husband right now or not, because I saw you the other day saying something about my wife, or unless you're just married to a woman, which is probably more than plausible as well. So I thought the other day I saw something about you. I saw you talking like you were using her account or something. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood. Get over there and get you a light. Yeah, I want to know what kind of light it is, actually. Can you tell us about that? There's two different groups, though, so I don't know. Can you join both groups and get a chance either way? We need to know more information before I leave now, just to give to everybody, and not about who you're married to. That's none of my business. I just, for some reason I saw something and made it think, are we talking Gabriel? Because somebody was talking and it was trying to get your name right, and you're like, no, it's Gabrielle. The delay's got me. All right. Anyway, either way, go check out those two groups. If she's still here, she can tell us more. Otherwise, we're gonna get going. Just the one. That's the whole thing. So it's all one group. My bad. So Doobie Gooby and Token Tanya's Grow Room. So that's all one group. My bad. I thought you were naming two different groups there. Let's see. I'll go check to see if I'm in there.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm in there. Like everybody invites me to groups, and like I can't keep up with it sometimes.
I'll join, but I can't promise that I can do a lot other than share my stuff in there, right?
I wouldn't join to get the light though, because I don't grow indoors.
Right. I don't really do a lot of yeah, I'm in there. Woo! I don't do a whole lot of giveaways. I do them for my subscribers, and I try to do them to try to help with engagement, but I don't for some reason don't go out there getting in a lot of them. I used to. I mean, I do sometimes, I guess, if I happen to pop in and there's something going on. Maybe I should. A lot of people can use the light. You're right. If I do that, if I get in more giveaways myself, I can get more goodies to give to you guys, subscribers. You know what I mean? Like that's what I look like. That's what I look at when I go to these events and I'm trying to get swag and stuff from these different booths. But anyway, yeah, even if you regift it, you're right, Elisa. You're right about that. But I do a lot, guys. I actually do a lot on X now. I'm really trying to push that over there because it's just like Facebook. Everyone's getting into arguments in the comments and different things. People are posting funny things. People are posting, it's so much similar. And the people over on X don't like it when I say that either. It's funny. They back and forth. People hate it from both sides. We have a lot of sponsors and we promote happiness and fun. Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Maybe you should come up on screen sometime. Our Huskies can meet. He's got a pink nose husky.
Pink nose.
All right. Yeah, you see the picture there?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you guys, it's been fun. It's been real, but it's time to go. And you guys have a good weekend. Come back on Sunday for game night, 5:30 Central Time, giving away lots of prizes and having lots of fun for my subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, $2 a month or less if you do the full year at $20. And you can do a full year at the Pro membership at $5. I saw that recently. You can pay for a full year of $5 if you want. My new Facebook job is to get everybody to engage my profile. Everybody and their mom. Have a good night. Yeah. I see you putting in the work, Elisa. I see you putting it in. She's really pushing. Elisa's got more followers than I do. Like she's up there. She's going ham on that. Good night, Margaret. Good night. Huskies, yeah. Huskies are insane, aren't they? All right, thanks again, Kim. We'll come back and see Kim on Sunday. Legit Beating Review remastered on Sundays, 2:00 Central Time. And you'll see me Sunday night, 5:30. Come on back. Peace, everybody. Good night.